Hi, this is Andrew. I'm joining you from my favorite spot for Tuesday Talks, Tips, and Tricks. It's a little colder than usual, but I still find this to be a very calming and soothing spot to speak with my audience, so here we are. So what I'm hoping to do is do a series of talks on the different developmental capacities. For those of you that don't know me, I'm an expert training leader in the DIR Floortime approach. The DIR Floortime approach is a developmental framework for working with kids or adults, and we are looking at their developmental capacities and individual differences and using the power of our relationship to be the catalyst for change and growth. So today we're going to talk about capacity 1, which is regulation and shared attention. Now, important with these capacities is they are not things we think about as having a graduation from. We don't master a capacity and then never think about it again. Regulation and shared attention is the most important to think about like this because although this is something that is typically begins to be developed early in infancy, as early as 3 months, no one ever truly masters regulation. As adults, we can all think of circumstances where our own regulation could be challenged, be it a crowded room, a noisy room, a dysregulated child that's with us. Parents, I'm looking at you. We have our own challenges to regulation, always. The kids we work with, doubly so. So what does dysregulation look like when a child is having challenges at capacity 1? Well, it could look like crying, screaming, aggression. That's what we call fight. Could look like flight. Could be running away. Could be trying to find a corner and retreating. Or it could be what's called immobilization. So a child that is severely dysregulated may not show any outward signs of having regulatory challenges, but they may be turned inwardly because they are so overwhelmed by the demands of their environment that their physiological state has just shut down on them. So just because we're not seeing outward signs of dysregulation, it's still important not to discount that we may have some kids that we work with and some kids that we live with that may be dysregulated even though they're not showing those outward signs. So what can we do to support kids at capacity 1? The most important thing is to attune to their state and our own. So what we need to do as caregivers and therapists is be able to recognize that dysregulated state and then also think, am I calm? Am I able to model the calm that my child needs? Am I able to show them safety, even though they're not able to feel safe? We call this co-regulation, and it's by far the most important piece at this capacity. The other things we can do for our children at capacity 1 are think about the sensory supports they might need. Is the room too loud? Do they need some movement? Do they need some deep pressure, be it a hug or a blanket? Do they need something to fidget with? We can also think about their primary regulators. Have they eaten recently? Are they having trouble breathing for any given reason? Have they slept well? Do they need a nap? All those things are major factors in regulation. So those are our things to look at the start. We also have to remember that just because a child might typically be able to reason with us, they might not be able to in that moment. And this is especially challenging for our kids that are really good at their higher level developmental capacities that might be able to do some social problem solving with us. At the moment we're looking at them, they might not be. So reasoning with them is not always the best approach if a child is feeling truly dysregulated. We have to take a step back, think about using less language, and find ways to just help them calm. And again, that's a big piece of it with co-regulation. So those are the nuts and bolts of capacity 1. It's easier said than done, and it's not always easy to attune to a child's sensory needs and a child's need for co-regulation. As I always say with these chats, the most important piece for developing your ability to do floor time is working with other people in the floor time world for what we call reflective supervision. So if you're a parent, this could be through working with a floor time coach. As a therapist, I definitely recommend taking a class in floor time and learning more about it and working on your own floor time skills as a way to grow as a therapist. It's a wonderful model. That's all for capacity 1. I hope to join you all soon to talk about developmental capacity 2, engaging and relating. Wishing you all well. Have a great day.